So Antoine Rempp here with Executor Experts. I'm sitting here with Ruth Wiart, who's the owner of Real Communication, and she does life legacy videos. And I've been organizing events for executors, testators, and I'm quite passionate about the topic, obviously. And Ruth has contributed to a few of these events, and she's doing a lot of our video editing as well. And one of the topic, what she does, I find is so valuable, because at the end of the day, after 2, 3, 4 years, when the dust settles, the money has been transferred, like, you want the person that is gone, you're never gonna get her back. And having a video that you can first show at the funeral, but also have for your kids, your grandkids, to have as a memory, it's a legacy. And I'm really passionate about that. And I think that everybody who has like 100 grand or more in assets should definitely spend money in getting a video, because this is worth more than any asset you have, because it's forever. So tell us a little bit more about those videos that you do and how powerful they are.
Well, we really look at sort of your top 10 list to make it manageable, because a lot of folks, when we say, yeah, we're coming in to shoot a video with you, they're overwhelmed. What are you going to ask me? I've never been in a video before. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to sound very smart and this and that. And so we really start with a roadmap. You know, where were you born? When did you get married? What did you work as? What were your hobbies? And those are the basis of the conversation. But really what ends up happening is we sit down together in a favorite spot for that person, whether it's at home or at their cabin, or if they're in an assisted living facility, and we have a conversation. Yeah. And that conversation can go on for a good hour or two. And seniors like to talk, and I love to talk, and I love to listen. And so out of that conversation, we often get these little nuggets of, you know, wow, these aha moments, as Oprah would call them, that perhaps they've never shared with their children or their grandchildren. And it comes from such an authentic place within them, reflecting back on their lives, that it really, you know, it's almost, I think, easier for them to tell that story to me as a complete stranger than it is to sit down with your son and daughter and say, this is what happened, you know, and this really had a huge impact on my life. And so we often, you know, we start with a plan, but then we're creative, we're storytellers. And after we've done the interview, we'll have several ideas in our minds about where we want to shoot some footage of these folks in their own environment. So it might be in the wood shop, it might be in the barn, it might be grandma cooking, it might be then with their knitting group, or whatever the case may be. And we also source their photographs, their archival photographs, some beautiful old black and whites, right up to the most recent with all of their family members, their grandkids, great-grandkids, etc. So it starts at the beginning with the beautiful baby shots, and then it ends with them where they currently are. And really, what usually happens is they're giving thanks. They're giving thanks to everybody who's been part of their life story. And it leaves you with such a warm and fuzzy feeling, and those universal lessons in life about what's important.
Yes.
So it's you know, it's a journey, these stories, and it's a very rewarding journey to be able to capture for people.
So your journalist background definitely makes a difference there, because you know how to interview people and make them feel comfortable and ask them the right question. And sometimes people just want to postpone it and say, oh, I'll deal with it later. We don't know when things are going to change. So I always encourage people, just like riding a wheel. You think you're invincible, it's never going to happen, and your health can change, and now you might not be cognitive anymore. So the sooner the better to get this on video, and it's easy to add to it later. Let's say you did it one now and one every 2 or 5 years to just top it up. So how complex is that to do for you?
Oh, that's easy. I mean, we've got all the files. We shoot in 4K footage. So they're great big files, but we have the expertise to edit them and update them as people need. That's not a problem.
So you've done, I know one of the events you talked about that young fellow who had kids and he got diagnosed.
So one of my friends told me about a close friend of hers who had been diagnosed with a terminal brain cancer. He was 41 years old, 2 little kids, 5 and 3. And she said they're trying an experimental surgery in 3 days. But it's going to leave him without the ability probably to speak, and it's probably going to remove a lot of his cognitive skills. can you come and interview him? I said, of course.
Yeah.
So we went into the family home and we took our time because he was obviously struggling with the impacts of this brain tumor. And we walked through his life together. He felt it was really important for him to celebrate those moments that he'd had with his children. You know, the 3-year-old won't remember, but he wanted her to know.
1-year-old won't either.
He wanted her to know the story of her birth, the things that she liked to do when she was a baby with him.
Yeah.
And, you know, with the son as well, he gave advice, dating advice. You know, when you start to date somebody, here's the right way and the wrong way to do it. And here's how you're going to know when she's the one, because this is how I knew when your mom was the one.
Yeah.
And so we did this interview, and then we shot some footage in the home with him and his wife together and with their kids.
Yeah.
And, you know, we edited it together. And sure enough, after this operation, you know, 3-4 days later, he couldn't speak.
Yeah. And try to put a price tag on that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, same for an estate. Like, my dad is fighting cancer right now, and it's like, and I never was the kind to ask questions, and it's like, whatever, in my world, but like, I'm heading back at the end of the month and I want to do some videos. It's not going to look at what you do, but it's, again, just, I want my kids to remember him. Like, kids are like 5, 4, and 2, so they know him, but they won't. So to me, there's no price for that. And that's why I see that service as just part of your estate planning. Like, look at all, like, talk to a lawyer, talk to an accountant, do all that stuff, but really at the end of the day, none of that matters. Like, you want to pay your taxes, you want to give some money to the kids, but that's going to be gone. And after the dust settles, what's left? When you're alone and you can just put the video in the TV and here's that. So